This was a supercar with a special character. If someone made it angry, it would kill them. Before leaving the factory, this car mechanic checked the car, but unexpectedly it cut off his finger. Another car mechanic went inside to check it out, but he accidentally dropped the cigarette ash on the seat. That made it extremely angry. After that, this mechanic was killed in the car. 30 years later, this car was just a waste car. But when Victor saw it, he was extremely amused. He even ignored Jure's advice. He bought this old car for $250 and called it Chris. Victor drove the car to his workshop. Because Victor didn't have a lot of money, he had to work for the workshop owner in exchange for accessories for Chris. While at school, Victor was a shy person. When he was bullied by a group of thugs, fortunately he was always helped by Jure. Seeing his crush, Nico, he didn't dare to talk to her. But since he bought Chris, he seemed to turn into a different person. He was no longer wearing glasses and even not as feeble as he used to be. He also flirted his crush, Nico. That evening, it rained heavily. Victor drove Nico to the cinema. Seeing that Victor loved this car too much, Nico was jealous of it. She said Victor only cared about this car. He didn't really love her. Then she got out of the car and left. Victor, extremely confused, he quickly chased after her. He tried to comfort her. She finally calmed down. But Nico still didn't feel happy at all. She thought of this car as a hindrance between her and Victor. She punched hard on the seat. Then she felt hungry, so she ate the burgers. Suddenly the wiper blade wasn't working, so Victor got out of the car to check. Suddenly the lights were on and in the car there was a song sounding from the radio. That made Nico startled and choked. Victor noticed something was wrong. He ran to open the car door, but unexpectedly it was locked inside. At that time, there was a kind man opening the door and carrying Nico outside. Fortunately, Nico was saved in time. This was a scary car. Seeing its owner took his girlfriend home, it was extremely jealous. Hearing that Victor said he loved Nico the most, that made the car go crazy. Although Victor tried many ways, it didn't work. Until Victor said he loved it the most, it just worked. When driving back to the workshop, Victor saw a group of thugs who had bullied him here. They got angry because Victor had become the boyfriend of Nico, who was the most beautiful girl in school. They made a plan to smash this red supercar of Victor into scrap heap. The next day, when he prepared to go out, surprisingly he found out that Chris was smashed to pieces. Nico only lightly touched him. Victor immediately got angry with her. He was like becoming a different person. But when Nico just left, there was a strange thing happening. Chris had suddenly returned to its original form, like nothing happened. Seeing that, Victor was extremely amazed. When Victor came back home, Chris also left the workshop. It looked for the thugs who smashed it. Seeing it, this fat man frightened so quickly ran away. But this spooky car wasn't afraid of anything. It even turned around professionally, then continued to chase after that fat man. The fat man was cornered by the car. He no longer had no way to escape. Chris quickly rushed towards him. Then it killed this fat man. The car has completely recovered to its original form. Suddenly there was a policeman coming here. It turned out that Nico reported to the police. The thugs smashed the car, and one of them was killed last night. However, when seeing the car, the policeman was very surprised. But there wasn't enough evidence. The police released Victor. At night, Chris continued to get out. It found the remaining thugs and then destroyed their car. Because of revenge on these thugs, the spooky car rushed into them. That made the gas station explode, but it wasn't injured at all. Seeing a big fire, one of the thugs hurriedly ran away. Chris quickly chased after him. It like cat and mouse game. Suddenly Chris speeded up to kill that man. When Chris returns to the garage, the workshop owner saw it with all smoke. He took a gun and approached to check it, but there was no one in the car. He got in the car. Suddenly the door was automatically locked. The seat continuously moved forward and killed him. Because there were so many murders happening recently, the police had started to pay more attention. After each murder, Chris returned to its original form and left no trace. That made the police also give up. Realizing something unusual, Nico looked for Jure, Victor's best friend. She said this car was really spooky, and Victor was controlled by it. She would be the next person to be killed. But Jure didn't believe her, even told her mentality got a trouble. Then Victor drove Jure's house and invited him to go sightseeing. Now Jure realized that Victor had changed a lot from before. I felt very worried and insecure. Victor even took his hands out of the steering wheel so that the car drove automatically. Seeing that, Jure believed what Nico had said. To save Victor, he decided to destroy this car. The next day Jure drove an excavator to the workshop. Nico lured Chris towards her. Victor seemed to be possessed. Chris quickly speeded up and rushed into Nico, but she quickly avoided it, so Chris plunged into a pile of scrap. But then, it continued to chase after Nico. Fortunately, Jure drove the excavator in time to stop Chris, but it still frantically rushed towards Nico. Then it crashed into the wall of the house. Victor was thrown out. Before he died, he even regretted about the car. Meanwhile, Jure drove the excavator to crush this spooky car completely. This car continuously turned into its original form, but eventually, it couldn't beat the excavator. So it was also crushed and thrown into the scrap yard. If you have a car like that, what will you do? Let's comment on your opinion.